For eons, the galaxy had been a place of constant conflict and ever-shifting allegiances between the numerous powerful species that roamed its vast expanse. The Galactic Council, an organization representing the oldest and most advanced civilizations, maintained peace through a delicate balance of power and diplomacy. Over the centuries, countless species had risen, fallen, or integrated into this council, each one leaving their mark on the galaxy in some way. Humanity, however, had remained a quiet, unassuming species, isolated and somewhat insignificant by galactic standards. When humanity first ventured into the stars, they did so with curiosity and determination, pushing the boundaries of their limited technology to explore the surrounding systems. Initially, they were not viewed as a threat, nor a species of much interest. Their ships, rudimentary compared to the fleets of established empires, were seen as small and unworthy of notice by most galactic observers. But what the galaxy did not expect was how quickly humanity would rise, how rapidly they would learn, adapt, and innovate. Years of war with the Galactic Empire had transformed Earth. The relentless conflict had forced humanity to refine its technologies, enhance its shipbuilding capacities, and develop a new type of weaponry, fiercer, faster, and more advanced than anything the galaxy had seen from them before. Human ingenuity, unburdened by centuries of tradition and rigid doctrines, had created a warship like no other, the Resolute. The flagship of Earth's fleet, it was a testament to human innovation, a ship born from the ashes of war that now possessed the power to rival the greatest empires of the galaxy. The Resolute was massive, stretching across kilometers in length, with sleek lines and angular edges that cut through space with unparalleled grace. Its hull was coated with advanced armor capable of withstanding even the most devastating energy blasts, and its weapon systems were a combination of advanced laser arrays, particle cannons, and gravity wells, technology humanity had reverse-engineered from both its own innovations and the wreckage of alien ships left behind from past battles. It was a ship that exuded power, with a visual presence that left no room for doubt. Humanity had arrived. As the Resolute emerged from a nearby asteroid field, crossing into the territory governed by the Galactic Council, it attracted the attention of observers from across the galaxy. Alien species, accustomed to the advanced and often frightening warships of the Empire and other galactic powers, were taken aback by the sight of this new human creation. They had heard rumors of Earth's war efforts, but nothing could prepare them for the sheer scale and might of this new arrival. Its gleaming silhouette against the backdrop of stars caught the eyes of countless ships in orbit, and the transmissions of distant star systems buzzed with excitement and alarm. The Council's representatives, whose fleets had been virtually unchallenged for millennia, found themselves looking at a new player, one that was unafraid and willing to fight for its place. A group of ambassadors from different species stood aboard a station observing the arrival of the Resolute. There was a tall, elegant leader from the Nilothians, a race known for their psychic abilities, a fierce, reptilian admiral from the Zard Dominion, and a quiet diplomat from the Synthrons, a race of sentient machines. All of them watched in awe as the Resolute powered through space, its engines humming with untold energy, seemingly untouched by the hostile environment around it. "We didn't expect this," the Nilothian ambassador murmured, his many eyes narrowing as the ship drew closer. His species had always prided itself on its ability to sense subtle shifts in the fabric of the galaxy, yet this new human ship gave off an aura they had never encountered before, something raw, determined, and undeniably strong. The Zard Dominion admiral, his scales glinting in the station's artificial lighting, clenched his fists. He had seen many warships in his time, but this human ship was something else. "It doesn't look like a typical fleet ship," he said, his voice low and tinged with admiration and fear. "It looks angry, like it's ready for war." The Synthron diplomat's mechanical voice cut through the tension. "It is efficient, more advanced than anything we've encountered from a species so young. They've developed technology quickly, adapting in ways that we haven't seen from any other race." The human fleet had come to assert its place in the galaxy, and the Resolute was the symbol of that ambition. Its sensors were active, scanning everything around it, while its weapons systems stood at the ready, not out of aggression but out of the understanding that the galaxy would not welcome them with open arms. The Resolute was not a ship of diplomacy, it was a ship of survival. And it was clear to the watching alien representatives that the humans were not just participants in the galactic order. They were now contenders, determined to protect their newfound position. As the ship approached the Council's space, the observers marveled at its structure. There was something almost organic about the way the Resolute moved, as though the ship itself was alive, a reflection of humanity's own drive to survive and adapt. Its enormous energy shields glowed with pulsating power as it entered the sector, while every alien fleet in the area turned its attention to the human arrival. The Resolute was now visible on every monitor, broadcast across space as it passed through major systems, its image leaving ripples in the very fabric of galactic politics. The Council, which had long been accustomed to governing the stars through diplomacy and strategic dominance, quickly called for an emergency session. Representatives from hundreds of species convened in a grand chamber, each one unsettled by the sight of this human warship, which defied all predictions of what a species like Earth could produce. Their fleet was not large, but it was efficient, and the Resolute stood as a harbinger of what was to come, humanity's assertive and unrelenting claim to the galaxy. "What are we going to do?" asked one of the council members, an amphibious species from the water-covered moon of Zarnith. "This ship, this humanity, they're unlike anything we've encountered." The Nilothian ambassador's voice was heavy with apprehension. "If they are here for war, we cannot stand against them. But, if they are here for something else, it doesn't matter," the Zar Dominion admiral growled. "We can't afford to ignore them. We must act now, before they grow stronger." The humans, however, were not interested in conflict. The appearance of the Resolute had not been meant as a declaration of war, but rather as a statement of presence. The human delegation was preparing to approach the Council in good faith, hoping for dialogue and peaceful relations, but knowing that their survival would depend on a balance of power. With the galaxy watching, Earth had demonstrated that it was no longer the weak, isolated species it once was. It had arrived, not in silence, but with the full might of its technological capabilities and military resolve. The Resolute would not be the last human ship the galaxy would see. This was only the beginning of humanity's journey in the stars, and its newfound allies and enemies alike would soon learn one truth. The human species, despite its humble beginnings, was now a force to be reckoned with, and the galaxy had better get ready. As the council session unfolded, an air of tension settled over the chamber. Representatives from across the galaxy spoke in hushed tones, debating humanity's place in the cosmic order. The appearance of the Resolute had stirred up something long dormant in the galaxy, fear and respect for a species that, just a few decades ago, had been seen as nothing more than a fledgling civilization with limited spacefaring abilities. Now Earth was a power to be reckoned with. Back in Earth's capital, the government was closely monitoring the situation. General Elizabeth Hart, commander of the Resolute, stood before a holographic map of the galaxy, her fingers tracing the paths of incoming communication signals. Her role, though primarily military, had also become a symbol of human strength. The Resolute had been sent to the Galactic Council as a statement, but humanity's ultimate goal was peace. Earth didn't seek unnecessary conflict, but it was prepared to fight for its survival and the preservation of its sovereignty. The fleet that followed the Resolute in its wake was not as large as the massive imperial fleets of other galactic powers, but it was filled with experienced soldiers, engineers, and strategists, men and women who had grown up in the crucible of war. The Council's response, however, was not immediate. The Nilothian ambassador, a species known for its long lifespan and deep psychic abilities, had a unique perspective. After hours of silent contemplation, he finally spoke. "We cannot ignore this," he said, his voice heavy. "We have seen countless species rise and fall throughout the ages, but these humans, they are different. They are not like the others. They are driven, resourceful, and they adapt faster than we ever expected. What's more, they have something we don't. They have unity. Unity." The word hung in the air, unspoken but universally understood. Many species in the galaxy, even those with long histories and advanced technologies, lacked the cohesive force that human civilization possessed. Humanity had gone from fractured nation-states to a unified species capable of presenting itself on the galactic stage. That was the key. The unity that had helped them survive the onslaught of the Galactic Empire had now become their greatest weapon. The Zar Dominion admiral, having spent years navigating the political intricacies of the galaxy's militaristic powers, was less optimistic. "They're a threat. Even if they come in peace, we cannot allow them to gain any more ground. They must be stopped before their influence spreads any further." The Synthran diplomat, observing the proceedings in silence, spoke up with a pragmatic tone. "Their technology is advancing rapidly. Whatever they are doing, we should be observing closely. The potential for collaboration or conflict is high. But one thing is clear, they are not going to back down. While the Council debated its next steps, the Resolute remained in orbit, silent and patient. Its crew was not there to escalate tensions. Instead, it had been sent to show that Earth was ready for whatever the galaxy might throw at them. General Hart had already prepared a diplomatic envoy to meet with the Council. She knew that Earth's survival depended on a mixture of diplomacy, strength, and the willingness to stand firm in the face of a galaxy that had long been dominated by other powers. Days passed before the first official contact was made. A neutral envoy, a representative from a peaceful species known as the Velon, was dispatched to meet with the Resolute. These beings, with their ability to communicate through both words and empathy, were tasked with facilitating a dialogue. Their ship, a small, non-combative vessel, docked alongside the Resolute. General Hart stood at the bridge of her ship, looking out at the peaceful Velon envoy as it approached. She knew that the next few hours would determine the future of humanity in the galaxy. Would they be accepted into the galactic fold, or would they face more battles, more challenges? She turned to her second-in-command, Lieutenant Callan, and nodded. "Prepare for the meeting. We're here to make our case. No more fighting unless absolutely necessary." The meeting took place in the conference room of the Resolute, which had been specially modified for diplomatic purposes. The Velon envoy entered, an elegant being with translucent skin that shimmered in the soft light of the ship's interior. They spoke in a calm, melodic voice, one that conveyed both wisdom and understanding. "You are a species unlike any we've encountered," the Velon said, addressing General Hart. "Your warship, your technology, it speaks of a willpower that we cannot ignore. But we are also cautious. What is it that you want from us, humanity?" Hart stood tall, her gaze unwavering. "We want peace. We want to be a part of this galaxy, not just to survive, but to contribute. We've faced hardships that few other species have, and we've learned from them. We don't seek domination, but we will defend our people at all costs. The galaxy has many empires, many civilizations, and we are ready to find our place among them." The Velon nodded, and after a long silence, they spoke again. "Your message has been heard, Earth. The Council will deliberate on your presence, but know this. The galaxy does not accept newcomers lightly. Your actions will define your future here. Be prepared to prove yourselves, for trust is earned, not given freely." It was a turning point for humanity. The Council would deliberate, but Earth had made its mark. The Resolute had not just brought a warship into the galaxy, it had brought a message. Humanity was not just another species to be watched from a distance. They were now a force to be reckoned with. The Resolute would not be the last ship to carry humanity's flag into the stars, but it would be the first to send the signal that Earth was no longer a passive observer in the galactic theater. As the human crew prepared for the days ahead, they knew that the real challenges were just beginning. The Council's decision was still pending, and not every species was going to welcome humanity with open arms. But one thing was certain: the Resolute had set the stage for a new era. Humanity's presence in the galaxy was no longer a matter of speculation, it was a fact. And the galaxy, with all its ancient powers and civilizations, would have to reckon with this new, determined player. The future of humanity in the stars was uncertain, but for the first time, it felt like they were truly a part of the galaxy, ready to carve their place among the stars. And the Resolute would be the symbol of that journey, a journey that had only just begun.